Hey there, hi there, ho there. Carolyn J Carpenter here. This is a new way that we're doing things, a new way. Let me know. You can't see each other's comments, but I believe I can see yours if you put a comment in the chat, or if you there's a Q&A button. I believe you can put a question in there. I'm going to cover, you guys are so great. You sent me so many good questions. I'm really excited about this. This is the first time, I'm not going to lie, a little bit nervous, a little bit, just a bit. Because I've never done this before, where I just do, let's talk, let's chat. I mean, we do it during our master class. At the end of the master class, I answer questions, but it's kind of about what we just did. So it's a little bit different. I have a fan over here that's kind of loud. Balance. So let me know if still not, let's say, put someone, oh, there we go, Q&A. Gotcha. Hello, thank you, Tara. Nice to see you. So yeah, that's what I need to see. It's your questions so that I can see. Okay, get hang up. So let me know, just put it in the Q&A if you can't hear me, or if there's anything going on that's funny, because I do have this pretty loud fan here, and just because this is a new way that we've been doing, I haven't done webinars like this, so I just want to just make sure everything is technically good. And you guys have been so great. You've been asking some really good questions. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm seeing some questions coming in. Cool. I'm very excited. So I'm assuming you can hear me okay, or there'd be questions saying, why can't I hear you? Why can't I see you? What's going on? So I'm assuming that you can see, and I'm just, hello. I'm so glad to meet you. Awesome. Thank you. So now I see that people can hear. Awesome. Cool. I'm Carolyn J Carpenter. I am one of the founders of Hollywood Gatekeepers. I co-founded it with Douglas Shaner. And actually I met Doug. Sorry, I'm just making sure we don't get interrupted here. I met Doug. Hold on, I can't do this at the same time. Do not disturb. Just don't want us to be disturbed. Okay. So awesome. Thank you for the yeah, only Q&A is active. Exactly. So you guys can just, if you have a question, just push it in. I'm not used to that in our sessions. We usually use the chat, but just use the Q&A. If you have a question or a comment, you can feel free. If you just have a comment, or, you identify with something that, yeah, so I see you guys saying that you can hear me. Awesome. So if you identify with something as we move forward, feel free to give love to whoever we're talking to about the topic. I do think I love that you guys ask questions right out the gate. So I founded Hollywood Gatekeepers with Douglas Shaner. I met him as a reader. He was a writer and hired me to consult on his screenplay. This is many moons ago. And then we started working together and just really hit it off. And we ended up writing together, and then started Hollywood Gatekeepers many moons later. So you never know. You just never know where your reading career is going to take you, which is what makes it so spectacular. There's so many paths that it can go down, but I'm not going to go off on that because I want to get to your questions, because you guys sent me so many good questions. And I really think that I see some of our screen readers are here that are already in our programs. I love it. You guys are my peeps. So excited. And for those of you that are in the insider track, some of the questions I might not get to here, but if I don't, we will answer it in our insider track session, because there were some good ones that I think will be good for the whole group. But it's interesting. So I went through all of your questions. We had them coming in all these different ways, which was funny. They were on the Facebook group. They came in through the form that I sent you. They came people emailed. It was just like, woo, questions galore. So took me a while to kind of sort everything, and I kind of put them in some categories. But if you would like to just have a conversation, if you have something where you're stuck, this is for everyone. This is for people that have never met me. Hello, don't know our programs at all. This is for people that are so just to kind of give you a little overview of Hollywood Gatekeepers. Hollywood Gatekeepers is a place where we train people how to read and analyze screenplays. That's our whole gig. We train you, how do you read a screenplay? How do you analyze a screenplay? And then what do you do with that knowledge? So if you're a writer, it's a great group to be in, because if you're a writer, your screenplay will get read by a reader at some point, like almost 100% guaranteed. There's every once in a while, like 97% guaranteed. So it's really important for you to know a reader's perspective, because we are the ones reading your screenplay. So we did have a couple of questions. Hang on, I got so organized. I put them in a note thing. We had a couple of questions about just like George asked on the Facebook group, how does Hollywood Gatekeepers work? I just finished a book and a movie script. Like, what is this? And then someone else asked about that too. Like Robin asked, I have a question that I'm sure will be answered in the session. And you were right. Here it is. I have in my mind what a gatekeeper is, but how does it relate to becoming a reader? What is a reader? So let me answer those, because the understanding of that is really important as you move into how to understand all of this. And that is that being a reader means that you read and analyze a screenplay. So Hollywood, they have to figure out what project they want to do next, right? There's production companies. They need to figure out, what they're going to do, what projects they want to do. They get bombarded, and I mean bombarded with screenplays, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of screenplays. There's simply no way that they have time to read all of those screenplays. And so they hire a reader. And a reader is someone who reads that screenplay, and then we write what's called coverage. And coverage is kind of like a book report. And what the coverage does is it talks about what is this movie about, and then it talks about what works in this screenplay, and then what needs work in this screenplay. And then the reader will write that coverage. They'll give that coverage to the producer. The producer can then read the coverage, aka book report, and decide, oh, this screenplay is about this. This is really interesting. Maybe I want to meet with that writer. Let's see, how is it? How is it? Is the screenplay good? And they read, here's all the things that work. Oh, interesting. Oh, but all these things need work. And then they make a decision. Do they want to meet with the writer? Do they want to read the screenplay? What is their next step based on your coverage? So that is what a reader's job is. There's so much more to it than that, but that is just the basic thing. We read a script, we write a book report. We read a script, we write a book report, known as coverage. So that's the kind of process. Now, the reason it's called Hollywood Gatekeepers is because readers are known as the gatekeepers, or sometimes development executive people are also known as the gatekeepers. And that means they are the people guarding the gate, so to speak. So when your screenplay gets submitted to a production company that's considering what films they want to do, that reader is the person that's reading those screenplays and then deciding, what do I think about this? Is this a screenplay that the producer should read, or does it need more work and it should go back to the writer, agent, whoever gave it to us? So that reader is really important, right? And most companies have more than one reader reading each screenplay. So it's not down to one sole person making that decision, but it is a very important decision. And so as you can see, for a writer, it's really important that you understand what a reader is looking for. And for a producer, they really lean on that on that reader to really understand the process so that they can choose what to do next based on what that reader said, right? So that is the general process of what a reader does and why they're called a gatekeeper. Now, we called this Hollywood Gatekeepers. I was so thrilled that we were able to do that. But we look at it as, yes, we are the first line of defense, as they say. We're the first person to read the screenplay. But we like to approach it here in our programs as we are a reader who's desperately trying to kick that gate open for a writer. We really want to help that writer make that screenplay better. We want to not just say, this is what works, but also say, this is what works and why. And not to just say, this needs work, but not to say, oh, the dialogue is bad. Like, that's not helpful. Instead, to say the protagonist's voice is fantastic because it really this is how I write my coverage. The protagonist's voice is fantastic because it really depicts the time period, or it really captures that area where the person lives. Whereas the supporting characters all sound the same. This person does not speak like a child, or whatever. You're getting very specific notes about what works and doesn't work in the screenplay. So we really dive in so that we can be that support system. So producer can lean on us and really know this person understands this work and can really tell me what's going on with this script. And so that writers feel like they're understood. It's really important. And there's nothing more gratifying than when a writer, you read a screenplay, you write a coverage, and it goes back to the writer sometimes. And that writer just goes, oh, you get it. And I know exactly what I'm going to do to make the screenplay better. It is just like, that is the best ever. So it's a really interesting, dichotomy between those two things. So that is what a reader does. That is why they're called a gatekeeper. So I hope that answers those questions right out the gate. So let me kind of look here. If you have, lots of good questions coming in. So if anybody would like to just be coached, just go ahead and raise your hand, and then I will coach you and we'll just walk through something. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep answering the questions that came in while I look, and there's more questions coming. You guys are shy. So that's totally fine. If you want to do it this way, I'm down. I'm just like opening it up like forever. I know it can be scary to be on camera so if you do want to be coached, I do ask that you come on camera so people can see you and that you have strong Wi-Fi and a microphone to make it easy for you to do that. So, and I know in our screenwriter program, we're really used to using the chat quite a bit. So I know that that's true too. So that's kind of the general overview of how Hollywood Gatekeepers works and how the screenplay coverage thing works together. So I'll start with that. And then let me go through, Cindy asked, if I live in another country, are there any chances that I can still start a career as a reader? Absolutely. Being a reader is time and location free, meaning you make your own schedule. You decide how many screenplays you want to read. You decide how you want to work. You can do it from anywhere as long as you have strong Wi-Fi. It doesn't really matter. As a matter of fact, now that things are becoming more global, if you are in another country, that could actually be an advantage because the people that are in that country might feel more kindred spirit to you and might feel like, oh, this person is connected, but they're going to read my screenplays. And now you can connect with anyone, anywhere. It doesn't really matter. As a matter of fact, production companies and people that do production and everything about Hollywood is just starting to dissipate everywhere. It's so cool. So it's not really mattering quite as much where you live to do things in the industry. But for sure, it's never mattered as a reader, but for sure, it doesn't matter now at all. So let's see. Okay, so those were kind of our questions. And then we had a lot of writers, which I love that writers were asking about different things about writing. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Like someone anonymous, someone shy asked, how do I start writing a screenplay? What does it take? And I love this question because what it takes is just persistence. Really is the only thing it really takes. And that's true for being a reader or a writer. It just takes persistence. And in terms of understanding how to be a reader or how to be a writer, there's a ton of free information out there. We have a YouTube channel. There's lots of YouTube channels on how to write a screenplay. There are, Save the Cat is a great book on writing screenplays. There's so many great books on writing screenplays. And I'm not here to pitch our programs or I'm not going to pitch anything or sell anything. There's nothing like that on this. This is purely just to get to know you a little better, to answer your questions. I'll tell you about some of the free resources we have and things you can sign up for in that regard. But I will refer to our programs all the time because that's where the answers are to me. So, and we do have program members that are actually here. So I will refer to that. We have had several people that have signed up for our programs and then they sign up to be a reader and then they end up writing a screenplay because it's so laid out. But if you're just starting out and you want to write a screenplay, start reading screenplays. That's one of the best advice I can give is read as many screenplays. You can just Google the screenplay you want to read, like some movie that you want to read. And typically there's so many sites out there that have screenplays you can download and read. Highly, highly, highly recommend that you do that if you want to be a reader or a writer. Read. Super, super important. And then just kind of start mapping out your story, kind of just think about who you want to write about. What do they want to do? How does it start? What is the thing that's motivating them? What kind of mayhem ensues and what kind of thing does it solve? Just start to slowly kind of map it out. But really what it takes to write a screenplay, I mean, there's no way I can teach you how to write a whole screenplay in the time that we have here today, but I can just say that it really just takes a willingness to explore, a willingness to look at, material, sign up for things. There's so many resources. Like Stage 32 is a fantastic resource for that. There's a lot of contests that have some contests even have, they're kind of open to young writers like Austin Film Festival, Screencraft. They have different, contests available for people that are just starting out. So just, do what you're doing here. Come in, ask questions, be part of our group, look at our free content on YouTube, look at the things that we're doing in our Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook group. Join us there if you're on our email list. That's how you find out about this. Just go ahead and participate in the things that we have. We have a free masterclass you can take that talks about being a reader, but also in the masterclass, I teach some very specific things about writing. So that's another great way that you can find out just, how to get started. So the big question and kind of the most common question that I got ahead of time. And again, if you do want to be coached, just raise your hand and just click the raise hand button and we can pop on. But the big question, and I'm seeing this in the chat as well. So I see Denise, I have to find a balance between family responsibilities, going back to work after a parenting break. You're getting flack for wasting time on writing. Sorry that anyone's giving you flack for that. And then when it probably won't get sold. And I get an oh wow when you do your elevator pitches. That's a good thing, right? I'm assuming it means like, oh wow, not like, oh wow. Well, either one though. If you get an oh wow reaction, that's good. You got a reaction, right? Instead of like, so I love that you're getting any kind of reaction to anything. And then so I'm seeing a couple of questions on things like login or how to download things, or these are course related questions. If you have those kind of questions, I really recommend that you just email team@hollywoodgatekeepers.com and we can point you to the right. If you're in the course and you're trying to figure out how to download your homework, or you can't get logged in, or you're having some tactical issue like that, team@hollywoodgatekeepers.com. You guys can see if I type it right. Let me try that. Let me just type that out for you. So if you are having any kind of technical problems, I'm not going to take time for that here now, because there's a lot of people on here that aren't in our program, so they don't know. And so that would be like, what? And it doesn't really, it's not helpful for the group at large, which is why we're answering questions. I think that'll be great for the greater good. So if you can't log in, can't figure out how to download, if you don't know things where things are in the course, Cherie is in our, and Chantel, they're amazing, and they will help you. And I'm in there too every once in a while, so we'll help you get started or get you logged in or get things downloaded. Don't worry. So just email us there and we can help you out. So let me kind of look here. Yeah, so I first joined the program a couple of years ago, but never finished it because of family issues. What do I need to restart? Okay, let's table that for a second. Which also goes into, that's Dennis, also goes into Denise's question about finding a balance between family responsibilities, right? Dana, and I saw your question earlier, purchase the on-demand program. So we have two different programs. We have one that is a self-paced on-demand where you can, it's just all the videos, you can watch it and do it on your own. And then we have that program that also includes live coaching with me every week. And then I also read your coverages and you get feedback on your homework. So it's a little more interactive. So we have the two different programs. So when you hear we refer to either self-paced or on-demand, those are the people that have joined and are just taking the course on their own. And that's Dana, and Dana, I'm not sure if he or she purchased on-demand program over a year ago and started it, but never completed it. You need help. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And then DeFranco, you've gotten to stage 32. Awesome. They're great. Yes, I have mentioned them many times, and I have heard of Screencraft, and I do think that Screencraft it's a very legitimate contest. They have lots of contests there, and so you could really like delve into very specific, they're genre related, they have all kinds of different things, and I do think that they're reputable. They actually provide coverages sometimes. I think for our readers out there, they'd be a great one for you to reach out to work with them. I think they're legit, and they do a great job with the contests that they have. So Renee, the difference between the different classes that we offer is we have the one that's self-paced where you can just do it on your own. And then we have one that's a higher price that then you can do with coaching. We have a Facebook group with that. We do movie nights. It just has a community involved, and it has me coaching. So then we have, awesome. Terry, who signed up a year or two ago, life happens. Yeah, I totally get it. You didn't pursue it. So this is going to be the next thing that we're going to talk about, because this is super common. And I wanted to read them so that you guys can see that you're not alone with this. How do you get back in the system? So you can email at team@hollywoodgatekeepers.com for the tactical way to get back in the system. But let's talk about how to get you back on board doing it. So yeah. Yes. Oh, there's some good ones in here. Okay. Sorry. This is what it's like to be a reader. You can watch me read. So Teresa, I see your question about logging in. Go ahead and email us at team@hollywoodgatekeepers. Oh, Cherie is here. So Cherie is in our inbox. She says, I'm there. In case you have questions, I'm there. I'm here to answer. This is how beautiful our team is, right? Okay, so then we also had a few, and let me read some of those to you guys, and I love these, that had to do with time. Let's talk about time, shall we? So Tracy said she's a starter, but not a finisher. And I'm familiar with Tracy. She's awesome. She always asks great questions. I get enthused about something and work on it diligently for a while, and then I seem to lose motivation to finish. How do I keep my motivation from disappearing? And then another one, I can't seem to structure my time. I can set goals, make to-do lists, and then I don't follow through. How do I discipline myself to complete the tasks that I set? So really great, right? And here's another one. I've not been able, this is Shelley, I've not been able to begin the course because of death of my family after I joined. I'm planning to begin on November 1st when I have cleared my schedule and will just proceed with the materials I was given at the outset. However, I feel as if I've been left behind. Do you have any suggestions besides digging into the materials, how I might catch up? I was really pumped to begin with after the initial webinar. And then Linda wrote, I signed up over a year ago. I was for some time able to join the Zoom sessions, which we do on the Insider Track, but I could not prioritize a consistent amount of my time to do the program. There are challenges, but I love your screen reader program. Yay. Was jumping in when I could and would start, but didn't get far. I guess my question is, do you have any tips for how I do start the program and ensure that I finish it so I can start reading? Yeah, I love it. And then Tara, you're here today. I love that. If you want to be coached, just raise your hand. Thank you for this opportunity. I am at my wit's end. We'll get you there. I cannot find time. I'm keeping my head above water in a career which is draining all of my energy. And so the time I would dedicate to my next chapter is spent trying to recuperate from the day. Oh, well, we want you to recuperate the day because it's been so fun that that's the kind of recuperating you want. So as you can see, and someone else wrote in early on, like right out the gate, I don't know that anybody will have this question. I just, I'm having trouble managing my time. And I knew that time would be a really common big question. So let's tackle time. So those of you, get your pens out if you're ready. So if you're having a login issue, or if you've been part of the course and then you're not anymore, just email us and we'll figure that part out. We also have an updated version. We'll make sure you have the most recent version and we're good to go. So we'll definitely take care of that. But meanwhile, if you are, and I love how Tracy just laid it out so beautifully and clearly about how, she starts and can't finish. She gets excited and can't. So I want you to ask yourself it's a simple question, but it's a really big question. And that is, so you want to do your course, or you want to write your screenplay, or it can be anything. I'm going to use the course because that's what people are mostly talking about. So you want to dive in and you want to complete the course. Well, screenplays work too, or you want to write your screenplay, or you want to, write your great American novel, whatever it might be. And you're not, and you're like, oh, I'm just at my wit's end. I can't do it. I'm just not doing it. Well, what are you doing? I mean, that seems sort of flippant, but really, what are you doing? What did you do on Saturday? What did you do yesterday? Yesterday was a weekend. What did you do last weekend? What happened? What did you do? What did you actually do? And I mean that like sincerely. What did you do? So write that down. You're writers, for one thing. You have the secret weapon that I call it as being a writer. Those of us that are writers, in my opinion, have a much faster bullet train method into getting into our psyche and getting into creating better habits, getting into making whatever change we want to make. Because we are writers, we already have the ticket inside. A lot of people who aren't writers, they don't even know how to access their inner imagination or brain or whatever it takes to do anything. A lot of people just run on autopilot. They go to work, people tell them what they do that thing. They go home, they turn on the TV. The next day they go to work, people tell them to do that thing, they do that thing. They go home, they watch TV. That could be a great life. I'm not knocking it. For those of us that write, there's something, there's like a synapse that's not quite connecting. That's like, no, that's not for me. I need to create. For those of us that are creative entrepreneurs, actors, I saw someone asking you an actor is a really great combination of being a reader for sure, because you're understanding characters. We have a whole section in our course that is the actor's perspective that breaks down how an actor looks at a script. I have a degree in drama, done a lot of acting, done a lot of directing. So really love that. So we have this weird thing in our brain where we want to do something different, something more, something, side hustle, whatever it might be. We don't want that life of just, we want things that are different. However, we live in a world that's the norm, right? So if you have this secret ability to be able to tap into this creativity that you already have, that you get excited about, that as I talk about probably sparks it, right? You have that thing, you know, you do. You have that thing that's like, there's more. I want to do something more. I want my words out there. I want to help someone get their words out there. I want to make a difference. I want to see something happen. I want to create something. I mean, just like, I know that feeling. I live that feeling like all the time. So I totally get it. So when you're not doing that, when you're figuring out this is what I want to do, but you're not actually doing it, when you know that going through the course would be one of the things that is going to take you to get there, it's really easy. When we do the masterclass, we talk all about it, right? And I answer all the questions, and we spend a couple of hours like diving into what it is to be a reader. And people leave there so fired up, and it's hard to maintain that. And I get that. So I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can keep that going a bit. One is really sincerely asking yourself and being honest with yourself. Write it down. What did I do this weekend, and why did I do it? And that why is really important. Why did you do that thing? Is it because you just needed a break because you have some 9-to-5 job that you're not happy with? Did you do it because a family member is pushing you to do it? Did you do it because people are laughing at you at your, desire to do something different? There's ways around that too, to talk about. What made you do the thing that you did instead of that thing? Because what you want to look at is that why. So if the why has to do with because other people are, asking you to do things, then maybe you need to get another person. So you're motivated by pleasing that other person. So can you find someone that's going to be your partner and say, hey, why aren't you doing your course? That will help hold you accountable. So I'm in a mastermind, and we meet, we spent almost the whole weekend together, just working together. Like we just get on and go, hey, what are you working on? What are you working on? What are you working on? Okay. And then we sit there for hours and work together. And that helps hold us accountable. We just actually did a little thermometer. We've created a little thermometer for each other that we can fill in for the rest of the year of the things we want to, what we want to get accomplished. And so by doing that, we're creating systems. We talk about, well, what will make you do it? Well, if you did, and if you say, I don't know, okay, so if you did know, what would you say? And your brain will answer if you say, okay, I don't know. Okay, but if I did know, what would it be? And an answer will come, especially if you just relax, breathe, go to the place that you go when you write, and allow the answer to come to you. Put it in a character form if you need to. Okay, my character that gets stuff done, give it a name. Use the tools you have and let that character speak to you about why you're not doing it and why you're doing something else. And see if you can take the motivation to do that something else and apply it to doing the thing you want. So if it is about pleasing someone, if it's that you did that other thing because you needed a break because you're working some 9-to-5 job that you hate, I could do a whole course on helping you not hate your 9-to-5. I'm just give you a couple of things if that's you. If you hate your 9-to-5, one, your 9-to-5 is not draining you. Your 9-to-5 is your security blanket. Your 9-to-5 is providing that sense of security so you can do other things. Your 9-to-5 is your first investor into your new business that you're going to create. Your 9-to-5, if you look at that check oh, look, my investor gave me some money today so that I can do the thing I want to do. Start reframing how you look at that 9-to-5. That's one way. The other thing is to look at the origin story of the company where you work. They started that company for a reason. And when you understand why they started that company, sometimes it turns your job a little bit more into a job of service, to where you're doing that thing based on, why they started the company, and that kind of ease that kind of feeling, the golden handcuffs feeling, or that feeling like you're doing something that doesn't matter. It does matter. They started the company for some reason. So that helps by giving it meaning. That can help ease the angst about doing that job. So if you're kind of finding ways, find mentors at your work that will kind of help you in the next thing. Start telling everybody at work about your reading thing, about your writing thing. You'll get some people that'll laugh at you. Awesome. Because all they're doing is showing their own limitations by doing that. Anyone that laughs at your wanting to do something bigger is just expressing their own dissatisfaction with their own life, or their own belief that it's not possible for them. Therefore, it's not possible for you. Not true. We're here right now. You got your peeps right here. Come in here. Come to the Gatekeepers group. Come, find each other in here. Share your email addresses. Get to know each other and find that accountability buddy that believes in what you're doing. So those are just some of the ways, and you will find those people in any job. There are going to be some people that scoff at you, and there will be some people that go like, oh, that's so cool. And then you stick with that guy, whoever it is doing that, right? So you build that. There's a thing called improving your five, meaning like the 5 people that you listen to most. Doesn't have to be your family, doesn't have to be, it just means that maybe you're listening to a podcast, maybe you're listening to something that inspires you, maybe you're listening to Oprah, she's super inspiring, like, or whatever, like you're listening, but that's one of the people that you listen to all the time. Whoever makes you get that thing done, whatever songs or music helps you to write, like start listening to those things. So those are kind of the first elements of, if you figure out the thing that is inspiring you to do the things you're actually doing, and then take that thing and apply it to the screenreader course or apply it to writing your screenplay. That's one technique. I'm going to move this. Let me know if it's too loud. It's really hot in here. Another step in terms of that, there's a thing called, well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but there's this idea when you start somebody at something new, and Tracy beautifully laid this out, right? She starts and she gets super, super excited. It's really common. People leave the masterclass fired up. And so they're fired up. You're like, blah, blah. It's kind of like when you go to a conference or something and you get all fired up and then you try to come home and you try to apply what you learned at the conference, and suddenly you're like, what happened? So there's a thing called a pull, or sometimes it's called a dip, or, the honeymoon phase. You got the, oh, it's so exciting. And then you're going to dip. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to dip and you're going to dip, and then it's going to get hard. And you're going to have, no matter what it is. I'm actually right now in the midst of, I got brought on to do a film that is unbelievably cool, and I'm so excited about it. So we brought on, it's a musical, like all these music, we're like story meetings. Now we're in that, they're starting to go like, oh, now we got to get some stuff done that's a little bit harder. We got to get some business meetings in. It's like, we're starting to go, and we got a long haul because it's an animated picture, so those take longer. So I know that we're in that. So what are we doing? We're finding ways to keep each other motivated. I'm sending little silly gifts to people, like not like little coffee mugs that say we got this, or whatever, any little thing that I can get to keep the team motivated, right? So it's like we find these ways, because that dip is coming. And then, but the thing is, and then you'll go through a phase of like, okay, this is ridiculous. And that is often when we start to do something else. Some other new thing comes in, it's like, oh, but look at this, it's so pretty and shiny. And this is like not so fun anymore. This, if you can plan for that, so that you can just kind of be easy about it and be like, oh, right, this is the dip that people talk about. This is the work I need to do in my relationship to keep it strong, right? I'm going to just keep going. And after a while, you'll be like, this is ridiculous. It's never going to work. You just keep going. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, actually I'm seeing sort of light at the end. Oh, wait. And then and the other thing is to look inside of the gatekeepers group, or looking, if you're in the insider track, people are graduating every week. So it's like looking, the people are doing it. So you can too. There's no special snowflakes. You're all special snowflakes to me, but everybody, people have been able to finish the course and get out there and do it. So if they're doing it, you can too. So if you I hope that's helpful. Yeah, Marianne's saying, oh my God, I'm also in the same point. You have to get going with the program you purchased over a year ago. So you're not alone, Mariana. You were not alone with this. This is a really common thing. And on the other, on the flip side of it, we as a team, we literally spend a lot of time trying to figure out ways that we can motivate. And people do their New Year's resolutions, and by February, there's no thing anymore. So we've actually have a program where we do Happy Half New Year, so that we can celebrate the new year on July 1st. We're halfway through the year to try to get people back to their goals again. And we also recommend that you don't even choose a New Year's resolution. You just choose one word that is the thing that you want for the whole year. So it's expansion, let's say. So when you go to make a decision in your daily life, you can say, is this helping me expand? Or it's peace. Is this keeping me peaceful or making me less peaceful? It can help motivate you throughout the year, as opposed to having these big, audacious goals that then you kind of let go of. This people, 80, I think it's 80% of people get gym memberships and don't go. People start diets and don't do them. This is a common thing. We did a lot of research in like film schools and how many people graduate. Like, it's really a low number. It's like 10% of people that start a program actually finish it. So that's why we're doing all kinds of things. We recreated our program to make it easier, to streamline it. We added the coaching so that we can help motivate people. Like, if you're in Insider Track, come to the sessions. but definitely do that. If you're in the insider track, come to the sessions. That will help keep you motivated. And you can find other people in the insider track that you can buddy up with and get your stuff done. If you're in Screen Reader System, you can join the insider track if you want to, and find those people. That's possible as well. But really, it's about making the decision to do it. So, and then the kind of final thing I want to say about it is that, so you're deciding, you're looking at what you're actually doing, right? You're seeing like, okay, why am I doing that thing? Okay, whatever's motivating me to do that thing, can I take that reason and put it against the thing I want to do, my screen reader career, whatever it might be, whatever is making me do the things I want to do. If it is that you're wanting to relax because of, you've been angsting about your 9 to 5, hopefully we gave you a few things you can use to not do that. But if it is that, then how can you use that? If you're going to watch TV, that's great. Watch the TV and sit and analyze it while you do it. Like, just keep your toe in to the career that you want. Analyze it and look for the inciting incident, or look for the thing, to kind of help keep your toe in the idea of analyzing things. Look at it in terms, watch the thing that, if you're going to watch TV, watch something that has to do with making movies, or watch, choose wisely. If you are going to do that, great, do it. But choose wisely in terms of being a bit strategic about what you watch. You can still relax and watch TV, but you can watch something that's a little more strategic into your bigger goal. You can lay down and listen to a podcast of someone that inspires you. You can, these kind of things, they might seem sort of silly and kind of, I can see where it's easy to go like, oh, come on. But when you actually do that, go for a walk and put your headphones in and listen to someone that inspires you. Go for a walk, and if you're in the program, listen to the program. Even if you're not doing the homework, just go through and just be listening. And just by doing that, by planning for that dip, and then finding these ways to take the thing that you're already doing and applying it, that can really start to get you to the other side of it. And really being honest with yourself and aware of those times when you're suddenly not doing it. When you're like, this was shiny and new and I was so motivated and then I just didn't do it. Like, put it on your desktop then. Put it somewhere where you see it, where it reminds you. Put it in your calendar. Remind yourself. Set, we have a whole inside the course, if you're in the course, or I'm just gonna tell you, like, set your time, try to set a specific time each day that you work. During the pandemic, we did a thing called homeroom. You can do this with your friends and family. Like, we just got together for 15 minutes. That was it. Every day, every weekday. We got together for 15 minutes, 8 in the morning for 15 minutes. And all we did was go, hey, how are you? We said, hello. What are you working on? People put in the chat, I'm going to do this for 15 minutes. That was it. And then we were in Zoom, we just turned off our microphones. We all worked for 15 minutes. I played a little song. We said goodbye. People did amazing things in that time. And we did it during the pandemic so that we could provide a place where people could meet and find that people were so struggling for normalcy. We wanted someplace people could go so they would have somewhere they needed to be. And I think it was really helpful. I know a lot of relationships, people got engaged, like there were relationships that were formed. I met a lot of you in those places. It was amazing. So finding someone that might want to do that with you. Hey, can we call it homeroom? Hey, you want to do study hall? We call it study hall in my mastermind. Anyone want to study hall? Anytime I'm going to just work on something, I reach out to them. Anyone want to study hall with me? Because then every once in a while I get a message from them saying, hey, I'm study halling. And I'm like, okay. And that motivates me to do it. The study hall thing is really, really motivating. So if you can find a friend that you could just say, hey, I'm going to work right now. How about you? Or I'm going to take that extra. I'm just going to spend, if you just commit to 15 minutes, all I'm asking, 15 minutes. You can commit to 15 minutes. Come on. 15 minutes. If you do 15 minutes, an hour will go by before you know it. It's so, so true. You just have to start. There's a thing called the Gernick effect. And that is that when you start something, it opens up a loop in your brain and then you have to finish it. It's just like, there's just something about that. It's like, especially, are you one of those people that if you start a puzzle, you gotta finish it? I don't do puzzles because I end up like, I start a puzzle. I'm just going to work on this puzzle for a couple minutes, 4 hours later. It's like, that could just be my obsessive personality, but it is that thing. If you just commit to a couple of minutes and open the loop in your brain into, I'm just going to do half a lesson. I'm just going to listen to this one little bit. It's kind of amazing how it can really, really snowball into things. So I hope that's helpful. I've been looking okay. So let me see. I hope that is, yeah. So you're exhausted afterward. Okay, so Tara, since I'm just gonna go with this. So much to do, you're ready to walk. How can you build in time to work on the courses you want this to support your next chapter? So Tara, you sent an email, or you did I think you did a question. I can't remember if you did a question or the email or whatever, but let me look at it for a second here. Wait, I can find it. Hold on. So this is what I wrote. So you wrote, thank you for this opportunity, and I've already read this, but I'm at my wit's end. I cannot find time, and capital letters. I'm keeping my head above water in a career which is draining off my energy, and so the time I would dedicate to my next chapter is spent trying to recuperate from the day. So I'm hoping that some of the things we talked about, like if it's draining your energy, you're allowing that to happen. First of all, I'm going to give you a little, with all the love in my heart, and I've been there with you. I totally understand. So I've been at jobs like this, and by learning the origin system, and then by starting to think like, how can I learn something at this job? And then you gave me a list of the things you're working on, and a lot of them apply to what you want to do here. A lot of them seem to apply, because then I wrote, I wasn't going to read this, but I'm just going to share. Be transparent. Welcome to my world. Then proceeds to add a huge list of things that she's involved in. So you had a huge list of all the things that you were doing, and a lot of them applied to this. So you might have a little bit of what I call helium hand. And that is, I got it. I got this. Your hand is just, you can't keep it down. You're like, oh, I'll do that. Okay. And I don't know that that's true. That's just an instinct that I have based on all the different things you're involved in, and how you're like exhausted and you're drained, because that helium hand thing. It's a little bit like when if you're running around, and this might not be you, but if you're running, for those of you, it will resonate with someone, I guarantee it. If you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, and you can't seem to get anything done, and you're just like, ah, usually that is not a time management issue. That's a boundary issue. That means that people are asking you to do things and you can't say no. Or you're just like, I got it. It's easier to just do it myself. I got a bit of a martyr thing going. And again, this is not you, Tara. This is just in general. This is me. This has been me in the past. Okay, fine. I'll just do it myself. So much easier to do it myself than explain it. Luckily now I have a team, and I have a team that goes like, what are you doing? I have a team that holds me accountable. And so it's like, what can you get off your plate? Are there things that you have agreed to that you really don't want to do, and you're kind of putting off, and you're kind of putting off, and you're kind of putting off? Just tell the person you're not going to do it. They will love you for it. By leaving, is it a way that you maintain relationships, you maintain threads with people by telling them they'll do things for them, because it's a way that you can hold on to them in a way? Can you let that go? Because some people are waiting and getting annoyed, and they don't want to say anything because they said you would do this thing about, and becomes, when you go, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Can we find another solution? You let them off the hook, you let you off the hook. You can kind of, so really, when you are doing the things on that list, now this is for you, Tara. So when you are doing all those things that you were involved in, which of those things is supporting your desire to want to do this next thing? And which of those things aren't? And can you really be honest with yourself and let go of the things that aren't? And if you can't, why? Is it if it's a financial thing, that's one thing, then you need to start looking that is not something that's draining you, but instead something that's supporting you. So the other thing that I want to, as a coach, and someone asked, can you kind of coach on this? Let me find that exact question. Hold on. Francis said, I'm drawn to all creative work, and I'm at a crossroads in life. Can you coach holistically like that? So that's kind of what we're talking about here, right, Francis? So if you are, that is a bit of the healing ham, or the the thing that we talked about in terms of you're creative and you want to do this and you want to do that, and you're like all these things, right? It's very, very common for people that are attracted to our programs in this world to be those types of people that have so many things that they want to do. I've seen writers that have so many ideas for screenplays that they don't write any of them. And that's so terrible. So it's like, just write all the ideas down and get them out of your head, and then pick one and stick with it. Write down all the things that you want to do, and then see which ones resonate with you. The more that you get it out of your head and stop letting it loop and loop and loop and loop, the more you just kind of like get it out, stream of consciousness writing, like get it out on the page, and then relax about it. The thing that you want to do, the thing that inspires you, usually will rise to the top. And if it doesn't, and all these other things rise up, again, that could be more boundary issues or more ways that you are using. Why are you doing these things that you don't want to do? Even if they are a security, do you need to do them on the level that they drain you? Do you need to do them on the level where you're all in? If it's not something that you really want to be doing, can you pull that back a bit and save some of that energy for the thing that you do want to do? These are all choices that we're making. And they're also thoughts that we're having. So we think that this job that is keeping us stuck, or we think that this person that is mocking us for the thing that we want to do, we have these thoughts about them as being like, this is the circumstance I'm in. I'm in this circumstance where I have this job that's just too much. I'm in this circumstance where I just don't have the time to do it. I'm in this circumstance where this person takes advantage of me, where this person treats me terribly, we're seeing all these circumstances that we're in. But really, we're not in any circumstances. The thing, we're in all of these things, but the thing that's tripping us up is not the circumstance, it's the thought about the circumstance. So I could have the same job and I could come at it with like, okay, this job's not going to drain me. This job's going to be easy because I'm only going to do this about this job. So I'm going to make some choices. I'm going to have some thoughts about it, as opposed to thinking about it in a way that's negative. So let me give a better example. So someone sends me an email that says, hey, and it's really confronting, and you need to do this, and you got to do that, blah, blah, blah. And someone sent me this email, and I have this thought of what a nasty email, and this person is not very nice, and this person is asking me, and what do? I shoot back another email, right? Rather than I get this email, and the person's like, hey, and they the same exact scenario, you need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And I look at that email and go, wow, look at you and all your things going on. That's not my responsibility. I don't know what's going on here. And then I can walk away for a while. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to shoot back, because whatever that thought is that you're having will then lead to the feeling that you have, which then will get you into action. And so when you look at those things and you think that, well, I did that because they did this. No, you did that because you had a thought about what they did, and that promoted you to take an action on it. Every action that we do is preceded by a glimmer of a thought. If you can slow yourself down just for a second and be like, what did I think about that? And why did it make me respond and act in that way? It can really, really make it so you start doing the things that you want to do. So I hope this is helpful. I feel kind of strange because I'm just going off on this stuff, but I hope this is all helpful in terms of how can you manage that time. So let me know if, so I'm definitely seeing some chats in there. Yeah, talking about, yes, I totally get it. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, very awesome. I'm glad it's helpful. So I hope that that's good. I'm going to move on to some questions. So I hope that kind of helps with time, really, really thinking about what can you do to create those, asking yourself, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Like really sincerely. And what do you don't want? What do you not want? Some of us are more motivated towards the things that we want. Some of us are more motivated towards the things away from the things we don't want. We do things because I don't want to do that, so I better do this. So when you ask yourself why you did the things you did, sometimes you did it because I didn't want to have a fight with my husband, because I didn't want my mom to be mad at me. So you're being motivated by the things you don't want. And some people are like, I did that because I wanted my paycheck. I did that thing because. So if you can look at what the wants and then take an action that kind of is from that place, that will then move into your screen reader or your writer curve or whatever it might be. So let me see. Okay, so I'm kind of looking at more questions. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Some good stuff in there. Yes, there's no chat. This is a little bit different. We're just asking questions here. Yeah, so lots of people are resonating with it, and lots of you feel that same way. So you can help with each other. If you're in the screen reader program, reach out to each other for sure. Yeah, so if you are chasing those shiny things, you can just like take a breath and figure out why you're doing that, and then use that to chase right back to where you wanted to be before. Oh my goodness. Okay, I have to read this. Is there anything in the industry? Maura, I think I'm just, this is awesome. Is there anything in the industry where you flesh out ideas? Say you write down an idea about a bunny and the bunny wants to become a doctor. It's a doctor bunny. Maybe the bunny goes to medical school and you come up with this idea where you have a main character, their life, friends, town, etc. Is there a place where people discuss ideas and everyone contributes and together you come up with a TV show or movie? I hope this makes sense. I love this so much. There are think tanks. I mean, that's a writer's room. That's what's happening in a writer's room on a series, is everybody's coming up with ideas of what the bunny's going to do for sure. So this is definitely something that, yeah, there. So it's kind of up to you to find them. And it's kind of up to you to find those people. So if you do want to create your own little Facebook group or Zoom session or whatever it might be, and ask someone that wants to come on board with your bunny idea, that is a lot of the times how ideas get started, is just a group of people decide to get together. This movie that I'm working on now, it was one person's idea. And then he decided he wanted to, well, he was going to do a children's book. So he got together with an animator or illustrator, and they started creating this children's book, and then it kind of grew, and he's a musician. So then he started writing some songs for it. And then they were like, well, what is this thing? And then he's like, well, I think it might be a movie. And then I was a reader for him years ago. He had written a screenplay and I was a reader for him. And so then he goes, I know just the person to call, because I had read and we had worked together and he loved, our experience that we had. It was amazing. He's an amazing writer. And he goes, I know who should write this. So he reached out to me. So, and now we have gotten, there's like 14 people now involved. We have an actor that's attached. We have a bunch of animators. Like, it's just growing and growing because the project is so cool, and we're sharing with people and whatnot. And that's how, yeah, absolutely, Kamara. Like, go do it. I want to see the bunny story. Yeah, for sure. That is definitely a thing. And it's, if you join these communities, and Clubhouse, I can't say enough about Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a really great platform for you to go on and meet people there, listen to rooms there. There's brainstorming sessions on Clubhouse. There's writer rooms on Clubhouse. There's a lot of things on Clubhouse. That's really, Tracy, yeah, so I missed that for some reason. She's saying I have too much time. I'm not working, so I have lots of time to work on the program. Hence my question about organizing my time and being disciplined. And this is where that study buddy can really come in handy. This is where someone says to you, hey, I'm working right now, you want to join me? I would, can't remember if you're an insider track or or you can go in, whichever Facebook group you're in, you can just find someone else in the Facebook group. I mean, there's plenty of people that are in here that are saying they have the same problem. So there's plenty of people that might want to just do that with you. So at least you have that person that's holding you accountable. And then when you aren't working, again, look at what are you doing? So you're not working, you have lots of time. What are you doing? What are you doing, Tracy? What are you doing with that time? I love you so much. I do. What are you doing? What are you doing with that time? And go do something else. So I'm joking, but I'm not, it's like, what are you doing with it? And be really honest with yourself. And then it might be just a little bit of a self shakeup where you have to go, do you want this or not? Like, what is it that you want? So you kind of have to sometimes be, if you are able to, do you have a commitment with anyone in your life? Are you married? Do you have children? Are you, have you been committed to something at some point? Like, what held you to that commitment? Why can't you do that with yourself? You're just as important as anyone you commit anything to. So to be able to honor yourself, to honor the dream that you have, to honor the thing that you want to do, and really commit to yourself in that way, even if it's just an hour a week. You don't have to start by, and that's, I think, one of the other mistakes people do is they go, I'm going to work from 9 to 5 every day. It's kind of like, I'm going to lose weight, so I'm going to not eat anything for 3 days or whatever. I'm going to go get healthy, so I'm going to just go to the gym and I'm going to work out, and the next day you can't even move, right? That is very common tendency. So instead, maybe it's that you just spend 15 minutes. Like, don't overdo it to start. Just find that disciplined time, get some routines in place, and put that routine in place that, they say, like, put a notebook by your bed. And when you first wake up in the morning, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write about how you want to do this. You're not even going to do the course. You're just going to write about how you want to. You're going to try to, find what is one thing you want to do about it today. Just one little thing. Do you want to listen to one lesson? Do you want to read a screenplay? One thing that you're going to do today or this week or this month, whatever is the easiest thing for you to tackle. Start there. Hope that's helpful. Awesome. Okay. let me go back here. Another one I wanted to see. So we had a couple about writing. Okay, so let me kind of talk about writing for a little bit. Lauren is just finishing up the latest and greatest version of her script. What should be my next step? Your goal in mind being to sell it. And then Leontine, whom I adore, who's in our programs, I believe I have a very solid screenplay. I'm sure you do. If you believe you do, you do. The last year I worked on beats and an outline with an industry professional, but due to her very busy schedule, hectic schedule, the feedback I needed to move forward did not come. So, well, I'll get to that. Because of being a beginner, I have not been able to move forward, not knowing if I should scrap it all. No. Somehow I feel that's not correct. Good. And begin afresh or try to find the hidden gems, which we talk about all the time, to all my hard work to keep it alive and begin the actual writing of my script. So you have a very solid screenplay, but now you're saying to begin the actual writing. So you have an idea, maybe? I'm seeking your talent, professional insight, straightforward honesty on what your next step could be. So I'm not sure if you have a solid screenplay idea or if you actually have a screenplay. If you have a screenplay idea, you're in the course, you can use the course to write it. So just use the course, you already have it, write your screenplay. That's the first thing. If you already have the screenplay, you're also in Insider Track, so you have other people you can swap coverages with. So you can have any of your fellow screenreaders read that, take a look at it. If you're not in our programs and you have a screenplay, so like Lauren, who just finished her latest and greatest version, your next step would be to have someone who knows something read it. Well, actually, before that, your first step when you first finish a screenplay, in my opinion, is to walk away from it, just go do something else for a while, come back, read it again, and see all the problems and fix those first. So that's your first step. And then it's to have a reader read it. So you can have a reader read it and a professional reader read it. And you don't have to worry that if you just hire someone to read and give you feedback on your screenplay, do a coverage of your screenplay, it doesn't mean that they're going to go run and tell producers about it or whatever. They can just help you get it in shape so that you can make sure that it's good to go. I really recommend that you have someone and not, your siblings are great because they're notoriously ruthless. So you can give it to friends and family for sure, especially if you have friends and family that understand the business at all. You can give it to them and get that kind of feedback. Sometimes it can be really hard to get people to read things. I understand that. Just like when you become a reader, everyone will ask you to read things, but being able to have someone that understands what goes into it, read it, is really smart. So that way, then you can kind of make some decisions about the next steps. And there are so many ways you can go. Contests, Austin Film Festival, if you're a new writer, is a really great contest for new writers because they don't ding you on formatting and that kind of thing. They really are trying to promote people that are just starting out. So that's a really great one. Again, Screencraft has some. There's so many contests out there. The Nickel Fellowships, of course, that's the mothership of all of them. But entering it into some contests, you can find some smaller local contests if you want at first, just to get your feet wet. Contests that also provide coverages or, reports back on your script are good. So just kind of getting it out there, on that level first, and then you can start looking for managers, agents. Again, join these networking places like Stage 32, be very vocal and active in our Hollywood Gatekeepers Facebook group or Screenreader Facebook group, depending on where you are at. Just make those connections so that you can really form relationships that can then help read and get you, understand. Also tell you I entered this contest, just networking will help. So Abiha, she's in our programs. She's awesome. I am writing a screenplay and I have a specific actor in mind to play a character. Is it appropriate to mention this or make note of this to producers, directors, casting directors? It actually isn't. I wouldn't really suggest it. Although I do highly suggest that you write your screenplays with cast it in your head. And the reason for that is because when you write your screenplay, if you put the people in and so you can even put you could put Gene Wilder in there. It doesn't, you can put I'm trying to think of, you can put Paul Newman, you can put people that aren't necessarily here, but you can still cast them because what you're doing by casting whoever you want in your screenplay, a young version of someone now or an older version of someone young or whatever, because what that does is it gives you their voice. And when you cast your screenplay as you're writing it, it helps with dialogue because suddenly you'll hear them and that will really help you write good dialogue. So kudos to you for writing for a specific actor. I think that's really good. I think you can kind of feel it out on a case by case. If you find someone that is connected to that actor in some way, perhaps, but it's kind of seen as a newbie thing if you're like, oh, I wrote this for this actor. But you can fill it out case by case, but in general, it's not really something I would make a note to. If you're sending it to a casting director that maybe has, it's an actor from Game of Thrones and you're sending it to a Game of Thrones casting director, maybe. It could be a fun kind of communication with someone where you, as long as you are coming from a place of, it's not what you expect. It's the people that go, I wrote this screenplay for so-and-so and I'm only going to do it with that person, that kind of naive person, it will hurt you. But if you do it with this sort of tongue-in-cheek, like, well, this is who I wrote it for, wouldn't that be awesome? Kind of just, then that could be an interesting conversation that might get you, someone to remember you. As long as you're aware that that's not a typical thing, for a writer that hasn't been produced. Once you've been produced, it's a little different, but it's not the typical thing for a writer that hasn't been produced to have a screenplay with a certain actor in mind. So I hope that helps. I know it's a little bit of both sides, but I hope you can see the differences there. You're writing a work of fiction and have not given the work to a literary agent to pitch for publication. Can I instead adapt a screenplay? Yes, you can do whatever you want. You're writing a work of fiction. It's your work. You haven't given it to anyone. Even if you had given it to someone, you could still adapt it. It's your work. You can do whatever you want. So yeah, and as absolutely. And sometimes you check with the agent. Sometimes an agent, they do both. Some publication companies have a film department and they pitch the movie and this book together. So that's a possibility as well. Hope that makes sense. Okay. So I think I've gotten to most. Okay, so now there's a couple of questions here. I'm trying to group them together, make it a little bit easier. There's a couple of questions here about kind of just being a reader in general. And so Ben, I think I saw that you were here and I saw your questions and we're going to talk about some of your questions in screen reviews. But you talked about actual turnaround time. How long does it take to actually do this job? And then there's another one. There's been a couple like, is this Veronica, I think. Can screen reading actually, in all caps, actually, not just a little bit, can it actually get your foot in the door at Hollywood as in get you a job in a big show production? And would you say screenwriting is a lucrative career? Can it be done freelance remotely? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm kind of go back. And then Lou Hunter's, Mary says, Lou Hunter's Screenwriting 403 is a great book. It's a gem. Check that out for those of you writers out there. Trying to like condense your questions here. And if anybody, you guys are so shy, nobody will come on camera with me. But if anybody wants to be coached, so they pay me big bucks. I'm doing this for free. I'm a certified life coach. Terry writes, I've written a screenplay, will soon begin writing the screenplay. I've also written a couple of other scripts, but need to tweak them. Looking forward to getting this going. Like gold people. Love it, Terry. Me too. Me too. Oh, so someone's asking. Oh, so yeah, if you do want to be coached, you just hit the raise your hand button. And then I would like you to have your camera on if you want to be coached. And then you have Wi-Fi so we can see and hear you and a microphone and all that. But we do have we have two programs. One is the just the $297. It's $297. You can do it on your own, self-paced. And then we have currently, not sure how much longer we're going to have it in this way, but $997 is our insider track. So you get the whole program where you can learn how to read and write coverage and all of that. And then you also can join our you get 6 months inside of our membership. And within the membership, I look at your coverages. We have the community. We do movie nights. There's a bunch of stuff. So we also have a masterclass that lays this all out, and that I'm doing it live, which I can't wait, this weekend. So you can join me there, and you can do that by going to HollywoodGatekeepers.com. HollywoodGatekeepers.com / masterclass. Hollywood. So if you guys want to do that, you can take that masterclass, and I lay out, literally there's slides about what's in the programs. And then I also lay out even more of these kind of questions about being a reader. It's kind of, and then we do another Q&A, so you can ask more questions there too, if you want. As an actor, what is the benefit, Cynthia? The benefit is that it really helps you learn how to create better characters, how to break down a screenplay as an actor, how to really, like, we talk a lot about dialogue, and we talk a lot about trusting actors and how to direct, how to not direct from a page. As a writer, you don't want to be directing from the page, and so we talk a lot about that. As a reader, you want to help writers not do that, where they tell the actor how to say the line, or they give camera directions. It shouldn't have any of that. Kayleen, is it something that a college student can do? Yes. You want to learn about screen reading so you can become a better writer and teach younger high school students who want to screenwrite as well. Yes, yes to all of the above. Yeah, it's definitely something. It's something anyone can do. If you're a college student, you just need to do your homework so that you understand the films from before you were born, so that you know that there was more than one A Star Is Born. So that you know when a film is, you know that Quentin Tarantino films are derivative of another, kind of the old Japanese movies. So you kind of can see the lineage of the movie business and why one thing reflects into another. And just like we often, I haven't had it today, which I'm sort of surprised, we often have, I'm retired, am I too old for this? That's totally, it doesn't matter how old you are, how tall you are, where you're from, where you live, none of it matters. It's just, as long as you don't talk about how all the movies from when you were a teenager are the best movies and now today has all gone awry, you want to know what the movies that are being done and what people are saying and what, you want to be current. If you're older and you want to know the history, you're younger. And then Chantel, someone's on so behind. There's no such thing as behind. So you guys can't see each other's chat, but she's on our team, and absolutely, there's no, we have the firm belief that there's no such thing as behind in our programs. So you do it, no matter what program you're in, you do it on your own pace, because as a reader, so if you are struggling with time to do the course, you're also going to have to manage your time in order to be a reader. So this is something that you'll need to get a handle on in order to be a reader. So if you're struggling getting the course done, take a look at the things that we talked about, because you're going to need to be able to read people's screenplays. You will have people that are holding you accountable. They're going to need that script back, and they're going to be paying you for that, which will help for sure. But especially when you're first getting started and you're reading different things and you're kind of figuring out, you have to be able to stick to your own schedule. You have to build your own schedule. You have to figure it out, right? So we made the course so that it would force you to do that, so that you can learn that. We try not to do too much hand holding, because you're not going to have that when you're out in the field. So that's why we set it up that way. There's no, you can come when you want, you can leave when you want, you can get things done in your own time. There's no such thing as late or behind. So it's all good. Awesome. And then there was another one up here. Okay, so this is kind of like the same thing. I'm an author, a writer, and started screenwriting. I saw screenwriting as an in into the industry. Can we explore this option and path? Oh, this is the one I was on. Okay. All right. So, and then Jessica, who's in our programs, and it's amazing. As I know, which I do, Jessica's a working reader and feel like she's mastered cover. She has. I read for producers and for contests. I read for a producer and for contest entrants. Reading is time consuming for me in proportion to your earnings. Even if I were to become more efficient, I would still need to focus on volume. I'm not sure I want to pump out large volumes of coverage. In short, I want to make a living. So I think where I'm at is I'm ready for the next step. Any suggestions of where to go from here? Okay, so this all kind of goes to the idea of Ben had a very detailed question about turnaround time in terms of how long does it take me to write a coverage. And actually in our Insider Track this week, we're going to be talking about this, about knowing yourself and kind of timing yourself and understanding how long things take you. The thing, and so for Ben, Ben is asking like, how long does it take me to read a screenplay and write a coverage? And so for me to do that, it's about an hour to an hour and a half, 2 hours, somewhere in there. So it kind of depends on the project. It kind of depends on the screenplay. If I'm reading screenplays by writers that are new and that don't quite understand writing yet, it's much faster, because the screenplays are easier to read because they're predictable. I can see what's coming. I can read it really quickly. I do read the whole thing. I don't skim. And then the notes are easier too, because it's the same thing. It's usually a lot of very common problems. So that can be faster. It's when you're reading and you're getting these, bigger projects of really good writers, that can take a little more time because it's just more nuanced. I'm to a point now to where I don't necessarily do so much straight coverage. It's more phone calls. So it's more consulting where I'll read a screenplay and then I'll talk to the person. I'll have just jotted down pretty janky notes sometimes. And sometimes they're like, can I get those notes? They never look at them. So because they just want to have a conversation about what works and doesn't work, typically. So, but here's the thing I want to get across. And so is the idea of looking at coverage and looking at writing coverage as being in the same way that we look at a 9-to-5, as being like an hourly job. So we're looking at writing that coverage and doing, reading that screenplay, writing that coverage. At first, for sure, you want to track yourself. You want to get an idea of how long it takes you to do it. You need to know yourself. And that's kind of what our topic is this week. You want to know yourself and know what are you capable of? What are your limitations? You want to know, and that will also help you inform what kind of reader do you want to be, whether you want to work with producers, you want to work with writers, whatever it might be. And then the next phase of that is, instead of thinking of it like an hourly thing, it takes this much and I want to get paid this much an hour. It's a employee mindset. We want to get you into an entrepreneurial mindset where you're letting go of the, dollars for time, for this amount of money, for this amount of hours. Now, again, at first you do want to understand where you stand within that. But then, and especially now, it's getting more and more like this, where you can be a consultant or you can determine what your worth is, where you can start to say, look, I'm a consultant and I charge far more for someone's coverage, to do someone's coverage and write a coverage or give notes or whatever than I did years ago, right? So you can set your fee of whatever you feel that the amount of time, the amount of value that you give is. And this is becoming more and more the thing. People are getting farther and farther away from saying, I'll just take any job for any amount of money. More and more people are starting to say, this is what my worth is. This is what I bring to the project. And this is what I charge. And sometimes, and it seems counterintuitive, but sometimes when you charge more for something, people value it more. And so when you say that my price is, that I do coverages for $200 a screenplay because of what you give to it, there will be people that will pay for that. And it's about you being able to present yourself in that way and feel comfortable with that. So as you move forward, and I do think, Jessica, this is kind of your next step, is starting to think entrepreneurially of what can you bring to it and how can you charge more money as you start to reach out to producers. Now you're getting kind of, from what I know, you have some things on your resume that are getting pretty good, right? So as you build that resume, what are some of the companies that you can kind of start thinking of going after that will pay more money? And this will be some of the more boutique companies perhaps for you because you're just getting started. And we'll talk about this more in the screener sessions as well. But how can you find the kind of the right match for you and really value what you're doing and really value what you're bringing to it so that you can then charge more? And it didn't take me, once I got that, it didn't take me that much longer before. One of the things that I got known for and did a lot early on was doing the kind of overnight. That was a big one for me because I'm a night owl. So because I was able to do overnights, I was able to charge twice as much because I was doing an overnight. So, or if you're someone that, if you feel like that's something that you can do, or if you're feeling like you're someone that wants to do the page one things, or you want to be more in the development world, that is another place that you can go. And I think from what I remember about your resume, Jess, that you have some other things that you can put on that to where you start pulling in, and this is for everyone, you start pulling in the other skills that you have. And so those of you that have skills where you're reading in places or you're teaching places or you have some kind of other background, you can combine that with your reading knowledge to provide something that's really unique to you. And that's a new thing. So I'm sort of maneuvering through this with you as I help you figure out what those things are and how can you put a package together that totally reflects who you are and what you bring to it. And then finding the right fit to that, finding the company that works with that. And so many more people are putting projects together like that, where they're reaching out to people and they're kind of piecemealing things together. The old way of like, it's like this, and you just do coverage and it's this, that's changing rapidly. And I absolutely think it's great for readers because it's less about that. And you can make your own, you can make your own mark and how you want it to be in terms of what you want this career to be for you. So this is such a big topic, but I just wanted to get you starting to think a little bit away from the churning out of coverage in terms of, I'm going to get paid whatever, this much a script and this much a coverage, well, I'm just going to turn out and just try and do volume, and instead put together ideas of who you are as a whole, and then what can you offer for that, and then who fits that offer for you. So this week inside of the Insider Track, we're going to be doing knowing yourself and kind of starting that. And then next week, we're going to talk about all the different kinds of clients that are out there for coverage so that we can guide you through that. Because there's a lot. So there's way more than I can go into in the time that we have, because we've already gone almost an hour and a half. So I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know it's getting pretty evening-y for a lot of people. Let me know in the chat if I didn't get to you and you have questions, just so that it's fresh so that I can see it. And then also, if you do want to know more about just everything in the reader process, join me on Saturday or Sunday. We're doing masterclass on both days, and you can get to that page and register at hollywoodgatekeepers.com/free masterclass. And in that, I will dive into all the things about being a reader. And then we'll go into kind of Q&A again, and I can answer even more questions, especially if you have you think about this all week and you have more questions, come to the masterclass. I would love to have you there, and I can answer more.